All right, fam. Welcome to the Sunny Side View, the podcast that brings you uplifting stories, inspiring conversations, and a fresh perspective on life. I am your host, Sunny B, and today we have a very special episode in honor of Men's Month. I'm celebrating men all month long for June. Just like last month, I celebrated women. And drum roll, please. Joining us here in the studio is a remarkable individual who brings a unique perspective to our discussions. He is an amazing husband, and I know because he's mine, a devoted father, and he is such an amazing friend. Please, let's give a warm welcome to our guest for today, Mr. Anthony Brown.
Hey guys, hello.
You have to sound excited to be on here with me. Woo! Thank you so much. Okay, so Anthony and I, we've been married 6 years. We're going into 6 years. We got an anniversary coming. Is it 6 years?
6 years.
Jesus, my God, today.
Hey, if you count the 2 years I stalked you.
Well, okay. Well, maybe we'll get into that. So let's tell people. I guess you persisted. He was trying to holler, and I wasn't trying to hear it, but he was consistent, and I finally responded to the DM.
Yep, I'm an inbox legend.
Yeah. Well, I hope you're only a legend with me.
Indeed.
Amen. We thank God for it. Okay, so I want to ask you a couple questions. We ended up getting together. We was like, I think our first date. You remember our first date? Where did we go?
We went hiking.
And what happened?
On this small mountain. So you invited one of your friends, and I guess because you thought I was gonna be like a murderer or something, but my thing was, I said, I guess I'll date both of you. So it wasn't that I looked at him like he wasn't there.
Okay, listen, y'all.
Start
from the top. Let's be clear. I did not know him. Okay, we kind of had friends that were the same, from being in church. And I had just had a baby. I was like coming off of some trauma in a relationship, and so I wasn't trying to hear it. So when I finally did respond to him, like 2 years later, I was being saved. So I brought one of my young adults with me on our first date because he wanted to go hiking. Y'all, he could have been a murderer. He could have been a mass murderer and pushed me off the mountain. So I brought one of my fellas, shout out to Ian, one of my young adults that was in our youth ministry. And so he came with us, and you rolled with it though. I mean, you was ready. You was talking to him and me. We was just hiking. So yeah, you made it. That's good. And so anyway, fast forward, we ended up getting together. We were like deeply in love, like immediately. We got pregnant. We didn't know it was the twins, but we got pregnant. Then it was real pregnant, and we didn't find out until right after our wedding, right after we got married. We found out maybe like a couple weeks later that we were carrying twins. Maybe like a month later, we were carrying twins. I knew I was big, and y'all kept being like, "You're not big." I'm like, "No, something's going on."
You're a waddle big.
Yeah, I was big. Anyway, fast forward today, we are a blended family. We have 7 children, and we love having a family. So I want to talk to you just a little bit about it today because it's Men's Month. I wanted to start it off with interviewing you. How do you feel like you have been able to navigate like the unique challenges of blending a family with children from different relationships? Like, how do you feel like, and you might not feel like you've perfected it. So this is a free space for you to be authentic.
Navigating involved me growing at the same time. If you love somebody enough, you'll find a way. It wasn't easy, but it was definitely pleasurable. Pleasurable in the sense that the kids made me happy. I grew up with a big family. I always wanted a big family. Boy, did I get a big family.
Boy, did you. Boy, did you. Well, I mean, and I wouldn't say everything is easy, right? I mean, we still working, we still, you know, knowing and loving and evolving together. I probably think probably one of the biggest lessons that our marriage has taught me is like how I'm not always right.
You say that again. You never said that before.
I'm just saying because I had to learn, I think I don't know. You tell me, how was it for you marrying someone who had 10 years as a single sole provider parent? Like, I feel like that was a huge area that we had to adjust over these years.
I don't think that you were bad or wrong. I just think that you were still in like superhero mode.
Mm-hmm. And what do you mean by that?
So you were just used to doing everything.
Mm-hmm.
And you didn't have so much time with the softer things, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
So you were just, I mean, you still on kind of like a go mode, but it's different now. Like you're a wife.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you were a wife then, but you're a wife now.
But I think I had to learn that. Like, I remember, like, sometimes I would be thinking like, oh my goodness, we have, I have, this, I would be thinking in my mind, I have this bill and then I have this bill and I have rent. And I'd be like, oh shoot, I forgot. Like, Anthony, I got a teammate. So I think you were really patient with doing it. I also think that you also didn't try to like crush that though. You know what I'm saying? Like, you knew that you married an independent woman who had lived on her own for 10 years, who, had not lived in her parents' house in almost 15 years or something like that at the time. Mm-hmm. So, I think that's a different dynamic that people don't really think through.
I think you can love somebody and still be on the move. I think sometimes people think that individuals should halt everything that they're doing in order for themselves to be loved by the other person. Mm-hmm. But if you love that person, you can see what they're doing and add to it, and you can also get your own move. Sometimes people don't look at the whole picture. Sometimes loving that person means moving your feet too.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
And I think sometimes individuals get lost in what the move is for them, and maybe they're not all the way complete at that point.
Mm. Do sometimes, like, as much as I feel like the 10 years I spent as a single parent really, in addition to, my dad, like, he was like very hard, gotta go. And so I've always been like that, but I feel like the 10 years kind of lit that fire even more. But I feel like I still have some aspects of that as far as like the independence, the go mode, as far as going to school and, other thing. Like, if I want to do something, I'm gonna do it, Mm-hmm. Do you ever feel like is that intimidating, or is it more so like, maybe I want to be like that? Or is it like, oh, that's good for her, or, but I got my own thing going?
I think there's a part of it that's inspiring. It's I don't think there's any problem with that. I think it's an awesome thing. I don't think any dude truly wants a female that's like got so much time on her hands or that's so clingy. I don't know. Maybe I should just speak for myself, but I think it's amazing. And also, coming from where I come from, in the country, not to talk about other country people, but let me correct that. I'm Southern. I'm not country. But coming from where I'm come from, you don't see anything around you, like almost literally somewhat rural. Most everybody goes to a warehouse or a factory, and just getting outside of, even as we moved outside of town, I thought it was amazing that we had the opportunity to move to Georgia from North Carolina. And it's not an enormous move, but just looking at the bigger picture, having the opportunity to have your imagination broaden and seeing outside of your normal, it makes you dream bigger. And if you see how, like, for example, my wife, how she moves, it's inspiring. It never makes you feel like I've seen before, like you're being left behind, so to speak, but it definitely makes you get like highlight the things that you're good at. Well, now it's go time. Now it's time to get on the move. Let's all be successful.
Mm-hmm. I'm glad you see it like that. That's good. Let me ask you this, as we're kind of talking about relationships, we have a blended family, right? And I think I've definitely seen, over these years, some challenges as far as like with our oldest children, with them just getting used to there being a father who's active, who's in their home. But one thing I really love about you is that you never disregard their biological father. Regardless of how active he is or has not been. You always, I always look at every Father's Day. You could really be like, hey, we going out, it's about me, and you always remind them to get something for their father, to call their father, and you're always the one to kind of pull that. Can you say why that's important?
I guess the first thing is because I know what it's like to be a father from a distance, from a previous relationship. First thing, and most importantly for me is it's more important for not him that I do it for, but that I teach my children, Trinity and Judah, as their bonus dad. I don't want any emotional repercussions from or anything that they could have possibly had from not having him in home anymore. So just teaching, if I teach them that they should say hi or anything like that, even if he doesn't, that's just another thing that makes me feel good, that I know that if I teach them that, then they won't have any hard feelings when they could be focused on something else.
Mm-hmm. And you do, like, sometimes there's pushback from them and you're always the one to be very vocal about ensuring that relationship that the door is open. But I don't really see that a lot. I think I see sometimes, or maybe people just don't know how important it could be. And so I just always see you being really proactive about that. And it's never, do you ever feel do you ever feel threatened, like in your relationship, that if you open that door or push for a relationship with them and their biological father, that there won't be one with you?
No, first of all, I think I had to reassure myself. That was a small thought at first, but when you're confident in how good you are, and I know I have many talents, but I know I'm a gifted dad. And
that's so good.
So I just think that, first of all, having confidence in, if you have that sort of confidence, you won't have any sort of worries about your children or your wife or anything along that lines. It's just another level of adulting to me.
So you kind of walked into it. So as we talk about our middle children, one thing I always see, and I feel like you continue to teach Trinity, Love, and Judah about, is how to be an active dad who doesn't live with their children all the time. And I know that specifically the older two have had conversations with us about just how awed they have been about how much time, energy, money that you take to ensure that you spend time with our middle children. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I truly believe if you love a thing, in this case, the children, the middle children as well, if you truly love something enough, then you'll do anything it takes to make it happen, regardless of the circumstance. Regardless of how you feel, how tired you are, if you truly love, sometimes we have to search ourselves. How much do we truly love a thing? Even when it comes down to our passions, if we truly love a thing, then we'll go after it wholeheartedly. Whether it's my wife, my bonus children, or my biological children that live 223 miles away, 4 hours, you'll just go after it, no matter the communication barriers between their mother and I. No matter what, you'll just be persistent. And sometimes we have to be unselfish and I just want them, when I'm long gone, to be able to have memories about our relationship and how hard I tried.
One thing I love that you do is that I think it's very rare that a day goes by that you don't call them and talk to them. And sometimes, as kids get older, they start getting busy. You know what I'm saying? They got their own schedule.
Being teenage emotions.
They start being like, I'm not answering that phone. That's part of growing up, right? But I love how you always go out of your way to ensure that you are going to be there however you can. And so, it just, it grows. And so I always see, how you do it and just kind of marvel at that. How do you feel like you've balanced your responsibilities as a father to all of our children? Like, what do you feel like one of the best things that you do?
Well, one thing that I pray that and hope that I do is one thing I do for one, I do for the other, whether it's time, finances, gifts, whatever one gets, the other one is going to get, whether they're biological or what. You don't want to ever show a child that they're a favorite, because that develops an imbalance, even more so emotionally. Everybody got issues, but if anybody of my children may have issue, it will, to the best of my ability, be not an issue that I would give them. And that's my hope. But I just try to go for excellence with each and every one of them. That way, if I fall, I don't fall far from it.
So how has being a father influenced other areas of your life? Like maybe your career or hobbies or whatever. How has being a father influenced it?
Like I said, I feel as though I'm a gifted father. I don't know what that means to everybody else, but I know what it means to me. So if I look at like what I'm good at, I'll try to apply what I know I'm good at and apply it to that. Like if I'm putting time and effort into that, why not put time and effort into continuing education? Putting time and effort into perfecting my hair barber styles or guitaring. So if you go, that's my motto. If you go 100%, if you fall, you won't fall far from greatness.
I love that. Okay, so that's us talking about our oldest 4. Now let's get down to the youngest 3. Let's get down to the littles, as we like to call them. So first, let's start with
baby Titans,
the twins.
Oh God. We talk about them.
Let's talk about SJ and Tank. Let's talk about the twins.
It's that Cincinnati blood.
What are we doing? What are we doing?
The best we can. They be wilding. Use my ebonics. They be wilding.
Every day. Somebody asked me, somebody said, how does it feel to be a mom of twins? And I said, I am defeated every day.
Yeah.
They win every day.
The twins, danger and destruction. Sunday and Anthony.
Oh God, we love them. They're gonna be something because they got all the energy, all the ideas, all the independence. Woo! Okay. Ooh.
All the persistence.
I had to suspend them from homeschool. They expelled. Y'all gotta go.
How you get suspended from homeschool? That's bad.
Oh my goodness. Okay, we love them though. They really are like, they just have greatness all over them, and so I'm always excited. And it's so funny because I feel like Tank definitely acts like you, and he has like he favors you, and I feel like Sunday does like with me. And every time we introduce them or we tell people about them, they're like, oh, they're named after y'all.
No, yeah, that's absolutely. Sunday is persistent and highly intelligent, and she's like the first to do it. Like everything that could have happened, she did it before Anthony. Anthony was definitely smart and intelligent, but I feel as though he did everything as maybe another child may. But where Anthony's gifts are is just like, I feel as though I might be, like how loving a person can be and how passionate, and we take things to heart. Like y'all might not see me cry or complain a lot, but trust and believe, if somebody does anything or if I see a difference, I'm crying on the inside, whereas Anthony, he cries on the outside.
Yeah. And he loves hard. Remember, he was crying for Uncle
Loves-
Terry that one day, wasn't he?
so hard.
I mean, he was about to fight all of us. Shout out to Miss Marvella.
My parents live far away, but he's always asking to call them. We might see him a few times in a year, but it's almost as though we live right there.
And he called Wee Wee his best friend. He's like, that's my best friend. That's so cute to have your grandma be your best friend. I love it. Okay, that's our youngest two. That's the twins. All right.
That's my Puerto Rican genius.
Now let's get into Mercy Rain. Now people may not know it's official. Like, yes. People probably don't know that it's official. I kind of was gonna do like a little video or something like at Father's Day or something, right? Like, I thought that would be dope. Maybe we can still do that. Yeah. But I mean, this is like hot off the presses. Like, it's official. You want to tell the people?
Yeah. So how long has it been? Like a month now? It's very recent. We drove up to Charlotte. We went and got baby girl's birth certificate, and I put my stamp of approval on there. Put that brown on there. You know, it's something that makes me. There's something that makes me truly proud. Yeah. I met Mercy when she was 11 months old. You know, and we've been A1 since day one. Like, literally, I came in and maybe she knew, maybe she didn't know, but she just instantly became my friend.
I remember the first time y'all met, she was stealing all your fries from Chick-fil-A.
Oh my gosh, she
peed on your leg.
Yeah, that's what her nickname is Leaky. Sometimes I play around with the name Thirsty Leaky or any other thing that she does, but Leaky came from, and her mom used to use cloth diapers.
First of all, they're better for the environment.
That may be true, but they're annoying. But that's where I got her little nickname from. So I call her Leaky, Mercy Leaky, Vibey Leaky, because she's a vibe. But Mercy, among all my children, is probably the most forgiving child. She is definitely her name. She's so like humble and sweet. Like, you could do anything and she'll forgive you, but she's so bossy. Yeah. Just like the other part of her name, she will tell you what to do. You just have to snap your neck at her. And
that's why you got to be careful what you name these kids.
Yeah,
you got to be careful because she is. I mean, she's brilliant. But I think, Mercy is 7 now, and so one thing I love about you is that you never, again, just like you did with the oldest kids, you never kept Mercy from her biological paternal grandparents and that family. Like, you never kept her for you all. I mean, you don't want to be like, did you call her? Did you go, checking in on her? They love you, so much. And just watching you, love her, as a dad. And so that's one thing I always notice is that you go out of you make sure that we don't forget, nope, let's make sure that we're inviting them and, always doing so. And I don't think, like, when we talk about adoption and things like that, everybody doesn't have that autonomy, you know what I'm saying? And everybody can't, because sometimes it's dangerous. Sometimes, there are other things that are kind of brought those thoughts up. But how do you, what really inspired you to be like, no, I'm gonna make it official? This my baby. This need to be official.
My thought patterns come from, like, my dad. Whereas my mother would say, nah, don't feed them, they're gonna keep coming around. Or, just from a protective standpoint, not any meanness. My mom is very super sweet. She's just a super, like, vigilant. And not to say my father isn't, but his heart reaches so far. And I've always watched him cut people's grass for free or feed people. Like, hey, I don't have no money for you right now, but if you come over, I'm grilling. And I just wanted to look at life the same way. So anything that I meet, I try to love as best as I can.
I love that. Okay, so a couple more questions for you. Let me ask you, what have been some of the most rewarding moments of fatherhood for you? And I'm going to ask you the same question as a husband.
Rewarding?
Yeah.
Just being able to see the fruits of my labor. How the children respect me and love me. It's a pretty big deal. I just grew up with a big family. I wanted a big family, and I want everybody to be happy. I want to see everybody smiling. I very much so dislike when any one of my children are upset or indifferent about whatever it could be. So if you see me getting on your nerves, it's because maybe I might ask too many questions, but I just gotta get to the bottom of it and try to fix it. I know you can't fix everything, but I just don't want my children to be unhappy. My mom probed our minds and our attitudes, try to figure out what was wrong with us, and I guess I'm just a reflection of, I don't want my kids to ever be in a state, or at least stay in a state of discomfort or whatever.
I think I told somebody this, and I was like, I wonder if people really know that you actually are like the chief intercessor at this house. Like, you will get us. Let me tell y'all something. Anthony Brown will get up at 1:00 in the morning and be like, Holy Spirit told me to get up, and will make everybody, myself included, will make everybody get up, hold hands, and pray out loud. Everybody, we going around in a circle. It'd be,
that'd be annoying.
Waking up everybody, and I'll be like, hey.
If you say move, I gotta move.
But I don't think, because people see me at the church all the time, just because I'm probably just louder and more outspoken. But I don't think people really. I be like, no, Anthony prays way more than I do, and I love to pray.
Church culture says if you have a title, I guess, but you man, holy though. But church culture does say if you got a title, but they do discount the fact of how much, not even much what I can do, but how much I do love the Lord and how much prayer is a part of our house.
No, for real.
And I don't know, maybe that's attributed to, more women coming to church possibly, and just in general, women do take things in life seriously,
I think men do too. I don't think
we
it's just
take
women.
different things. Women, y'all can see.
Tell us what women do.
But this is a pro to y'all. I can see now.
What?
I can see.
What?
This is a pro to y'all. Like, y'all do be having everything, excuse my bonical terminology, but y'all see past, or at least you either handle it well, but either way, you got room to say, oh, there is a guy. Whereas the homies, if like me, if we don't see the money in hand, what we doing to get it? Like, we don't have time.
That's gender specific. I think that is situation specific.
Then why is it that ladies mature faster than us?
But that's just physiology. Like, that's your body. I don't think that's
mentally too. Is that not true? Is that not true?
Well, it is.
And that's what I'm attributing my statement to. I could be wrong, but we're all about what we see. Whereas, like, women, y'all can be about what y'all see. But when y'all, for example, when y'all look for a dude, y'all like, okay, what he talking about? Dudes, we see your body for a long time before we focus on what your mind is like.
First of all,
that's just my example of
saying. First of all, I ain't looking for no dude, and I ain't never been. You know what I'm saying? I mean, man, you came to me. You know what I'm saying? You came to me.
But that's even more so to my point. That's even more so to my point. How we focus, y'all.
So you're saying y'all, you feel like you particularly, and people like you, men like you, are focused on what you see easier.
Yes.
Okay. That cleans it up a little bit. Because people aren't a monolith, so it's not everybody's the same, but based on your gender. But I do agree that sometimes it is, groups of people are like, okay, I'm gonna let you out. Okay. What have been some of the most rewarding moments as a husband for you?
More to your point. To my point, excuse me. One of my points. The rewarding part is you don't have to, like, you chase your wife, but you don't have to chase anymore. No, what I'm saying is, let me fix it real quick in my Steve Harvey voice. You don't, like, in the streets, you always chasing, but when you have especially like a good wife, I don't know what another wife would be like, but
my God. Yeah, I know what
So I'm always chasing you. First of all, because you have to keep things spicy. You gotta keep things moving in a marriage. But I'm always chasing you in that aspect. But I don't have to chase to have somebody next to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you out there, you just out there.
Do you feel like you still pursue? Well, I mean, I know you do, but but for clarity for listeners, you still pursue, but you're not. Is it pursuing or is it more like pursuing. Taking care? Is it?
And I look at it like a good way. You have to, like, at least in my form of what I mean is, like, you're busy. If you're busy, like with school, you know, you work. And if I see that, you know how I am, if I, like, it'll be different if, I don't know, but I just know that, like, I chase you. I hope you know that. I hope you don't get like.
No, I guess I wouldn't use the term.
Because, you know,
because I feel like chase feels like I'm running. No. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Versus
let's
I feel like, I feel like more so you are very attentive. And you spend time and you pay attention to small things. You know what I'm saying? Like if I say, man, I want some new glasses. 2 weeks later, there's new glasses coming and you won't say anything. And so what I've had to do is try to learn to do that same thing for you. Like, I know, you know, if I'm like, one thing I started doing was, you know, if I wanted to get myself something, I'll get it for you first. And so for me, I wanted to just show you that, you know, I can wait on the black and white pandas. I'm gonna get yours first.
But not even just then. Like, you bought me like so many things, but for me, like 4 top-notch sneakers. Mm-hmm. I haven't paid over $100 for shoes in 20 years. I probably never did. I probably never did that. I thought it was.
Sorry.
Yeah. You know, that's what I wear.
You know, I feel like
hold up. Like, even on Mother's Day, you had in those couple of weeks, even on Mother's Day weekend, you had brought home the pandas. And then maybe the week before, or it might have been that week, but they were 2 weeks of each other. You had got me green Jordan 1s, and I've never had Jordan 1s in my life. For Christmas, you got me some other dunks.
The Jamaican ones.
Yeah. So I've always wanted some stuff like that, but I just feel like I got 7 kids. Well, I don't know. There's always a thought in the back of my head how I'm gonna pay like $100 or something, and there may be nothing to everybody else if I see that my kids or some, and our children do dress very nice, and we do things, but I don't know. I just always
rather spend money on the crew than yourself.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, listen, I'm with you when you're right. I'm with you. Okay. Last, well, that's debatable. I'm just kidding. Okay, last question. What are your hopes and dreams for our family in the future? Hopes and dreams. Do you have any hopes and dreams?
Absolutely. I feel as though I'm doing a very decent job of trying to.
You sound like Bishop. Bishop, he don't like to say anything is great. It's like, is it good? You talk about I'm decent. Oh my goodness.
I feel like I'm doing a very decent job of taking care of my family, but I feel as though I'm approaching 40 September 20th of this year. Y'all beat my cash out. Get ready. I'm just kidding. But I feel as though that, okay, now it's also go time for me. And I feel like if I can bring myself to a different level, that'll be an example for all the children. Because it's one thing to push them, but they sometimes have to see those things too. So I think if they see me achieving professional goals, then they'll approach that way too, especially with the boys. Mm-hmm. And also, but I want to see that they look back and they don't have any sort of what you call it when you look back and regrets. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, I should have went to school, or I should have did this. Because sometimes I look back and say, well, I should have finished. Mm-hmm. I mean, I thank God that I'm going to be finished starting. Yes, I am going to finish. I thank God for the track that we're going on now, so I can finish my education. Because I want to be a PhD, and not because for financial. I want to finish my bachelors to have something else to offer. But I want to, as a brother, as a black man, I want to add my name to the list, to the percentage.
Ooh, that's good. Ooh, that's good.
You know, just for the culture.
To the percentage.
Like, sometimes people look at factory work and warehousing work. So that's what I decide. They look down on it. But I know I'm good at process. So if I go back into that or be a teacher, you know, I'll do it as a PhD, you know, or something.
You definitely can do it.
Just
you'd be a great teacher. A great teacher, for sure. You'd be a great teacher.
I got enough kids already.
Well, all right. Well, thank you. As we wrap up this inspiring episode of the Sunnyside View, featuring the incredible Mr. Anthony Brown Sr. Thank you for kicking off Men's Month. I just want to thank you, baby, because you're amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming and chatting with us. I hope today's episode has provided a fresh perspective on, you know, the male perspective and inspired our listeners to challenge stereotypes, embrace empathy, and foster meaningful connections. Of course, you know, it's through open conversations like this that we can really foster understanding. So I'm super excited. Next week, we have another exciting episode that's coming up with a special guest. I might just do a commercial, but it's special guest. I'm not even going to tell y'all, but just know you do not want to miss next week. Join us as we continue to explore uplifting narratives, share personal journeys, and celebrate the power of positivity. Please don't forget to subscribe to the Sunnyside View on your favorite podcast platform so you never miss an episode. Thank you so much for tuning in today, and we look forward to having you join us next week for another extraordinary episode of the Sunnyside View. This is your host, Sunny B, signing off, and of course, my husband.
You fine. Anthony Brown. Sorry, guys.
Y'all stay positive, stay curious, and don't forget to embrace the Sunnyside View. I will see y'all next time.
Thank you for listening to my Sunnyside View.